everyone, welcome back to the channel.
So I wanted to ask you about, how you made the progress. Yeah.
Power fishing, 14, 15, 16 pound line,
Hmm.
medium heavy rod. That was it. That's it. Braid,
Yeah.
that's what I used. I never thought of using 6 pound line. I thought that was crazy. Now I know you're still crazy. You use 3 pound line, 2 pound line, so the progression is there, but yeah, it's a big difference of how I used to fish compared to now. Now I do a lot of more finesse fishing,
Hmm.
catch a lot more fish that way, especially with out here in these pressured waters that we use. We're always fishing public places that are, get fished every day. So I think finesse, it, I did 2 turns. I did finesse and then I did big baits. Those were the two avenues that you guys showed me. Rick and Matt with the big baits and you with the ultra finesse. So big baits also it has its time and its place, but people don't really throw it too much.
Hmm.
And I think that also is what's catching a lot of fish, especially out here. The lake behind us. People catch 6, 7 pounders here on swim baits. So I think it's one of those progressions that, as an angler, you take, but also because of equipment. You know,
Hmm.
the ultralight stuff that I use, it's expensive. It's not cheap. So,
Hmm.
and I'm talking about the gear, not the baits. The gear.
Yeah.
That's also the reason why I'm able to do that now. My Gancraft white noise rod is what I use for big baits, and you know that's not cheap either. So I think that's also the reason why people really don't go in those two avenues. They kind of stick where you could find it everywhere, right? The medium heavy 14-pound line that you could buy straight out of the already built rigs. So,
Yeah. So you pointed out not many people take that route,
mhm.
but you made it.
Yeah.
Why? What made you change your mind?
You guys catching fish and me not catching fish. That kind of, right?
Okay.
That's what it
You
what it
you you
Yeah.
witnessed that
Yeah.
different result.
Exactly. Which is normal, right? Same thing with you with the progression of video cameras and
Mm.
microphones and stuff. You saw the
Yeah.
difference between this stuff and the stuff you used to use. So
Right.
yeah, it's that you see somebody use it and
Hmm.
be really good at it and not miss fish, and you let me use some of your equipment, and that's why I was able to try it and say, wow, Mooney, I want this, I want one. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Uh, Not many people are fortunate enough to see us fish.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
make a lot of videos, make a lot of social media posts, but it's very difficult to send the message through.
Yeah.
There's a big
Yeah.
filter there. If you watch us on video or social media and you want to ask us questions, just write down in the comment. We do, hopefully we can answer it
Yeah.
the best of our knowledge and
We mostly do.
experience.
Yeah. We try. We try to get back to
You
the
know,
to the people.
yeah, while we are talking today, I notice many people are still missing points where how Japanese baits are designed to fish. And, like Imakatsu Ventacrora Vazel,
Hmm.
the top of the lure that catch so much fish. But it comes with a very finesse thing wire hook. People are using it on the medium heavy rod with a strong line, and they are yanking on the hook up. Bam! You're breaking the hook, breaking the wing. Same with the finesse hook on the fish arrow.
Hmm.
When you use thin wire finesse hook, you really don't need to yank that on the hook set. You just gently lift it from 9 to 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And I use, just as Carlos said, I use like 3 pound, 3 pound test, 4 pound test on the fish arrow. Sometimes 2.5, 2, but it's not common these days. I use more threes and fours now.
Yeah. And that's another thing we need to talk about.
What?
Not in this video, but your line. Everybody's always asking about the loops that you use, the knots that you use,
That
because you using 2 pound line to catch. I mean, I don't know how much those trout weigh. Probably 4 pounds. The ones
the
that we caught a
biggest
couple
ones,
years ago.
yeah, maybe.
And we were catching them no problem. Not
Yeah,
losing the baits. Not losing the spoons. So that's another video that we need to do is
yeah.
the Verivis line. It's amazing.
Not just line, it's just the balance of, light, ultra light rod action with the super smooth drag reel
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
lines. It's same with bass fishing tackle. You know, you have to understand how lure designer designed the bait. You know how the action is can be generated
Hmm.
by line, reel, rod balance. Total balance is very important. Yeah, they should make another video for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Because a lot of people do like that. Want to understand how is
Yeah,
that possible? Because they
yeah.
think 2 pound line. They think even tying the knot, you're gonna snap it.
It used to,
Yeah.
but 21st century 2 pound test line, it's strong.
It's 2 pounds. Yeah. It's really two
Yeah.
pounds. Yeah. It's very amazing. You have a great point. That's the one thing we do on the water is test. That is what
Yes.
we're doing. We're not really there to catch fish. We're there to figure out this new bait. How does it work? What's the best scenario for it?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the best equipment for it?
Yeah.
And I think today that's what we were doing with the Fujin Super Spider.
Yes.
With the new Gamecraft rod that you just got in from Japan
Yeah.
with the solid tip. How did you like it? Was it?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
right.
amazing
Yeah.
rod, and I was using 8.5 pound Varibus braid as a main line and 6 pound test. Fluorocarbon
Mm.
as a leader for it. The rod was rated 3 to 8 pound test
3 to
line,
8. Yeah.
I believe, and weighed up to eighth, 1/8. Is that what it was? If I remember
Quarter.
correctly,
Quarter.
a quarter,
Quarter.
quarter
Yeah.
ounce. So yeah, it is a super finesse rod.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm I'm approaching 60. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I know the old time finesse rod 20 years ago. Now everything has improved. Uh, new carbon material design,
Yep.
light, strong, so sensitive,
Forgiving.
forgiving.
Yeah.
We got a guide system the Fuji makes, the Tozite guide and everything. The sensitivity is, up there
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It requires certain investment. If you don't, risk your money
Mm-hmm.
investing those high-end expensive material, you can still
Yes.
use.
And that's the thing. People need to understand. You can use regular equipment, cheaper
Yes,
equipment. It's just
yes.
you're not going to get the sensitivity. You're not going to get the action that you
Hmm.
really want out of the bait.
Yeah,
And landing fish, that's a whole nother subject
right.
because without the right equipment, landing fish it's really hard.
Mhm.
When you got the right equipment, like my Flissa, I like you say 9 to 12, and I just hold it there. Just keep pressure. Just
Yeah,
keep pressure, and the fish they come in. They make
right.
it in. So I think that's one of the biggest things when we're out in the field is testing these baits
Hmm.
and what's the best benefit to this bait because these baits aren't expensive, but they're not cheap. You know,
Right.
they're
All,
not
all
cheap.
Japanese baits are not cheap.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, Carlos, tell me when, you know, what trigger the change as far as your bait selection goes. You used to use US bait,
Hmm.
Yams, and
Yep.
maybe Barclays and a few others,
Yeah, Yamamoto. That was my
Yamamoto.
biggest one. Yeah.
But you're fishing. I saw you not catching anything when we first met,
Yeah.
while I was catching many, and you made a big
Mhm.
change. I noticed that.
Yeah.
What was your first bait that made change?
The first bait that I noticed that you were out fishing us
Mm-hmm.
10 to 1 was this bait. And if you guys don't know this bait, it's the Fish Arrow Flash J. This is the 3 inch. You like to use a 2 inch. You like to use 1 inch
I
too.
use
Yeah.
both. Yeah,
Yeah,
two and
but
threes.
2 inch is the one that this year we've noticed is crazy.
Yes,
It's
it overfished
it's
threes and
overfishing the
fours.
threes today this year. We used to use the three a lot. Well, at least me. Last year
Yeah.
was three because that's what I felt comfortable with weight wise.
Hmm.
Two, it weighs a little bit less, but it's still easy to cast. But out fishing the 3 inch, which is really weird. We were wondering why that is this year, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, Fisher or Flush J has been, my go-to bait for last decades.
Mm-hmm.
This is, almost like a 20-year-old bait.
Yeah.
Uh, it's still continue to produce under difficult conditions. I can't explain what it is. There are so many fantastic JDM minnow style baits out there, but Fisher or Flash J always produce.
Yeah. And the thing that we like about it that a lot of people just don't really understand is the floatability of it,
Yes, it's a floating bait.
balanced with line and with the weight that we use on it.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people like to use the Sakamata shads, which is a sinking bait. It's a heavy salted bait with heavier heads, 5-inch, 6-inch, 7-inch strolling baits, which to us that's big. We stick with the
Yeah.
little guys.
Well, Sakamada is good for maybe southern,
Hmm.
warmer water where bait fish are bigger. But we are, Chicagoland, it's cold. Many bait fish are small,
Ponds.
ponds.
Yeah.
So, well, it's perfect for us.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good starting point for non-JDM fishermen to get into, how JDM fishing feel. Because again, today, you and me combined, maybe we spend hour and a half catching 20 fish, where Sunday live bait fishermen, 4 or 5 people out there catching none.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm sure they are wondering what we are doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly how we are fishing.
Yeah. And the biggest thing that we keep getting comments about and people talk to us about is using this on the shore. Everybody thinks that you can only catch fish
Mm.
forward facing with this bait. If you see our fish catches and you see my pictures, there's grass on every single one of my fishes because I'm fishing it right on the weed edges. You see how I'm
Yeah.
fishing it like if it's a regular moving bait, because we get so comfortable with this bait,
Mhm.
and you don't lose them.
Right.
Once you got them hooked, they stay pinned.
Yeah.
They're pretty pinned and they come to you. We don't really have. I mean, we get breakoffs sometimes, but we fish this like a normal moving bait. We fish it around
Yeah.
weed lines. We fish it around open water. We fish it in wind. We fish it in the summer. It's a do everything bait. Forward facing, I'm sure it's going to be amazing, especially with the foil inside.
Yeah.
That shows it
Aluminum
better.
foil.
Exactly. That shows it better on their sonars.
Yeah. Which pros are not talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
But we will.
But for us, it's a shore bait. It's a bait that you could go and test the water.
So you started big bait fishing how long ago?
So
That was after you tried fisher, right?
yeah, so this was my first dip into lighter stuff.
Okay.
My love for finesse jigs. That's people call them finesse, but they're micro jigs.
Mhm.
That was my dip into this smaller side. I had to get specialized equipment for it. Now moving into big baits, I love topwater big baits.
Okay.
That's the one thing that I started with you guys was topwater, Aventa Crawler, RSR.
Tentaclover? Okay.
Yeah, that was my first dip into JDM. Actually, no.
Woodman, that's a one piece.
Okay, so
Jointed.
jointed Fuka. That was my first dip into JDM, and that was amazing. That thing
Yeah.
catches fish on
It does.
regular days. It's amazing. Then I started getting into crawlers.
Mhm.
Now we're talking about specialized equipment. That's why I started moving into the bigger baits. But once you start catching big baits, big fish on big baits, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, especially topwater when they thrash it and they're splashing all over the place, and you have thick line and you're able to just boat flip them on the shore. It's very addicting, and that's where
is.
I started really dialing in my big bait stuff.
Okay.
And then once we got into that, that's when I found Gangcraft.
The swim bait.
Yeah, and that was my big swing to
Yeah.
JDM big baits. I love Gangcraft. Gangcraft is a brand that I really like to promote.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I like to stick.
Oh,
Yeah, that's where I like to stick my money, and that's where we like to utilize their baits because it's very innovative. They always trying new things, always coming out with new colors. Pretty much year round, Mr. Taka's coming out with a new color on Instagram that you see him posting. So
yeah. So you, kind of turned your head around from conventional U.S. fishing to JDM through finesse jig,
Yep.
finesse minnow bait, top water, and the swim bait.
But I still throw conventional. I
Okay.
still love conventional, right? Chatterbaits, you know me with
Yeah.
the chatterbaits and spinnerbaits.
Yeah, you are good with the
Yeah,
wire bait.
yeah, wire baits, you know what I mean? I still love that. But I
Hmm.
changed a little bit, right? I started using more JDM baits,
Yeah.
JDM rods with the better action tapers.
Hmm.
So that also got dialed in. But yeah,
Yeah.
I still love traditional frogging, right? The Nori's NF60, that's one of the
Okay.
best frogs there is. You know, we still do conventional, American style stuff. I only have 30 minutes an hour every day to fish. I don't
Yeah.
have 4 or 5 hours, 8 hour
Right.
days. So I bring what's going to catch a fish.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, there's nothing like some finesse, or there's nothing like the adrenaline of a big bass hitting a big bait. Because, if
Yeah.
I'm throwing a 7-inch crawler, it's not going to be a 1 pound fish that's going to hit it.
Yeah.
Most likely two, three, four, five that's going to hit it.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so you kind of understand that when you throw those baits, it's going to be a good bite.
you know, I have you, Matt, Rick, a few other friends everywhere in the U.S. who can, spend a little bit of time on when the new bait comes up.
Hmm.
I'll send them out and ask them to try it. Maybe we can use few more field staff people in area that I don't have field staffs. New baits are coming out every day.
Yeah, yeah. It never
Japanese,
stops. It
yeah,
never stops.
Japanese lure designers are innovative.
Yeah,
They have ideas.
yeah.
They just keep coming. I'm gonna talk a little bit about ICAST. Hopefully this video can go up and before ICAST.
Mm.
I'll be at booth number 2040 Luoya Fish Arrow booth. So if you wanna come check out some of the Japanese bait, that's where I'll be at for the ICAST. Stay tuned on our YouTube,
Yeah.
Instagram, any social media. All right, I think we over talked. So thank
Yeah,
you
we got a
so
lot of
much,
time.
Carlos, for your
Yeah,
time.
yeah, no
Appreciate it.
problem.
Thank you for watching.